Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing really well today. My name's Michelle Gailey, and I want to thank you for being here with me live today. If you are here with me live, say hello in the chat. I'd love to say hi back to you. And if you're catching the replay, just add hashtag replay. I would love to say hi to you also. Today is all about managing other people's thoughts and emotions, part 2. A few weeks ago, maybe a week or two ago, I did how to manage other people's thoughts and emotions, part 1. And I'll make sure you can find that video in our Facebook group. You can find that video, part 1, on my blog at michellegailey.com. But today is all about part 2. So I titled this Managing Other People's Thoughts and Emotions because it really should say how not to manage other people's thoughts and emotions. But the truth is, most of us are unconsciously and sometimes consciously trying to manage other people's thoughts about us, emotions about us. Hi, Nini. Thanks for being here. On some level. And you might think you're not doing it. And that would be awesome if that were true. And then if that is true for you, you've got to be the one to show up here with me live and tell us how to do it. We need your expertise. But I work with a lot of people, and I work with a lot of people with a lot of high confidence, a lot of self-awareness. And we still, me included, have this underlying thing of wanting to manage people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We want to maintain the status quo in our families. We want to have people think not bad things about us. There's just on so many levels. We don't want to be seen as failures. Again, a lot of this is unconscious. And the more I talk about it, the more I hope I'm bringing it to the conscious mind. Here's the exercise that I taught a few weeks ago. I wanted you to have some time to practice the technique. I'm going to share it with you again today and maybe even talk about how it can be helpful. Okay. Here's the technique. I'll make it short and sweet, not talk too much today. When you are managing other people's thoughts and emotions, when you have a situation, it's usually when you're talking with someone, texting someone, messaging, email. There's that side of it. Let's just start there. When you are in relationship with someone or a conversation with someone, and if you can, I want you to pause and I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions real quick. It's, how would I respond if I respond for them to keep the status quo or to keep them happy or whatever? How would I respond for them? And then how would I respond for me, for my greatest good? So I'm going to even change it a little bit. It would be cool to go, how would I respond for their greatest good? Which is so interesting. And how would I respond for my greatest good? If we really go to greatest good, responding to people for their greatest good would be you showing up as your true, authentic self with equilibrium, with love, with just loving people, regardless of what the conversation's about. Hi, Kim. I hope you're doing really well today. So let's start there again. You're in conversation with someone. If you can manage this, you're going to pause, especially if it's a text or a message or an email. You have the time to say, how would I respond for them? And how would I respond for me? And then we just added on these kind of interesting questions. How would I respond for their greatest good? And how would I respond for my greatest good? And I just want you to be conscious of the difference. This is an exercise that I've been using with someone for, I want to say, a month or 2 now. And it's part of her coaching that she has to say every chance she gets, how would I respond for them? And how would I respond for me? And it's making her so much more conscious of how she's responding in the world. It's lessening her anxiety. Isn't that interesting? a lot of the anxiety for at least this person was coming from doing things and responding in ways that weren't true to her, just to keep the people around her, what she thought was keeping them happy. But the truth is, most people want us to show up genuine, right? Want us to show up authentically. I think it's even in our hearts as empaths and sensitives to show up authentically. Us doing things, saying things just to keep the status quo, is that showing up as our true authentic self? I'm not sure it is. So step one of all of this, managing other people's thoughts and emotions, is you practicing the exercise of, what would I say for them? What would I say for me? And you still get to choose which way you do it, but at least you're aware that two different things are happening. Or maybe you're going to become aware of, hey, the way I would speak for them and the way I would speak for me is now the same. That would be amazing. Okay, there's that piece. I hope that's helpful. Another piece I want to share with you is the benefits of you learning how to be neutral to other people's thoughts and emotions, letting them think whatever they want to think, letting them feel whatever they want to feel, letting them have any emotions that they want to have. What if we just loved people no matter what they were thinking or feeling? What if it really had nothing to do with us? How would that feel to you? Does that feel possible? Now, I know it's not totally true because we're in relationship with people and we do have a strong influence, especially on our closest people. We influence each other. It's just part of the human experience, is to have those connections. How would it feel to you, though, to love people no matter what they thought of you? To let them have any feelings they want to have? Type it in the chat if you have any thoughts about that. Good idea or bad idea? And then the next thing I'm kind of going off the rails today, but I hope it's helpful. The other thing I wanted to say is, I think me in the world and you, Kim's here, we have this call. I bet all of us have this. We have this calling in the world to do some type of work in the world, to create some kind of impact. And a lot of us are stopped with pursuing this work because of what we perceive, what we think other people will think of us. In fact, I think most women that I serve, this is the biggest issue. What will people think of me? What if I fail? What if I make someone angry? What if they think I'm stupid? What if I can't think of all the what ifs. But I think this is the biggest thing that stops us from living our real life purpose. And if I could help you today or any day to just lovingly release, let everyone have their own thoughts and emotions, and that it's perfectly okay. I'm trying to get that across to you. So I'll use myself as an example. When I first came online and started to do these Facebook Lives and show up in the world and talk about who I am and who I serve and how I might be able to help, I was so scared. Every once in a while, I would get a message in the comments or an email. Like I got one today. Gosh, let me check my junk. I'm gonna give it to you. Wait a sec. I have to go to my junk because I deleted it. This is a perfect example. I just got it right before this. Not my junk, my trash. I just got it before this. Are you ready? So I sent out an email this morning that said, join me for this Facebook Live. And I got this. Stop texting me. Not interested in your shit. Don't care. We'll block you. Old me, old Michelle, who cared about people, who tried to manage and keep people happy, keep their thoughts about me happy, keep their emotions about me happy. Old Michelle would have gotten this email and it would have hurt. It would have hurt. I would have thought I would have shut down. I would have said, I shouldn't be out there. I shouldn't be doing Facebook Lives. I shouldn't be sending emails. This person's message would have shut me down. And then the next time I try to write an email, I would try to write it in a way that would make this person not be so mean to me. Right? But Michelle of today just goes like this. Michelle today reads it, and then I just delete her. I'm not meant to serve her. I have no idea what's going on. Clearly, she's not interested, or we don't resonate. She's vibing and I'm vibing somewhere else. I don't know all the details. I just know we're not cohesive. Does that make sense? And I honestly, here's another thought. My biggest thought is she's just not in my world. We're in two different worlds. What's my other thought? I think that's it. We're just not in the same worlds. And I guess I do have some other thoughts. Wherever she is right now, she just can't see or hear me. I guess we're in two different vibrations. Okay. Oh, and Jacqueline, thank you. Jacqueline just said it. It says a lot about them. I have found that to be true too. And I'm not poo-pooing this person at all. I don't mean it that way. A lot of the times when I do a Facebook Live, I get people who do this, and I got people who do this. It's not even about a Facebook Live. It's doing anything in the world that you're called to do. There's always going to be people who do this, and there's going to be people who do this. It's fine. Like, I don't even want to be too influenced by this anymore. I just want to stay true to myself. This and this is mostly a reflection of them, their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions. And they get to do whatever they want. They're just using me, I guess, as like a projection. And I'm not judging whether they do this or this. I really don't care. I just want you and me to stay in ourselves and stay within our own guidance and stay within our own what is true to us and stay within what are we called to do in the world, regardless of this. I really want to challenge you to keep asking yourself that. Here's what happens. It leads you to a life of a lot of purpose, excitement, interesting people. You're going to hang out with interesting people who are doing interesting things in the world. At the end of the day, we're all going to be in our rockers, hopefully with lots of people around us that we love. And I just picture myself in a rocker, and I'm super old with a lot of grandkids and great grandkids. And some of my grandkids are like, Grandma was crazy. She did some weird shit. But when they get older, they're going to be like, wasn't she amazing? Look at all the things she did. She was a trailblazer. And again, I don't really care about their thoughts. Although it sounds like it, I just want to do interesting things. And in order to go out and do amazing, interesting, maybe even things that are a little risky, according to others, we want to let go of this, other people's this, and stay within ourselves. And I promise you're going to find more people like that. Jacqueline said, I stay in my own lane. Yes. She also said, not everyone is on a healing path. That might be true. That probably is true. I have no idea. I love it. Stay in my own lane. Okay, awesome. Any questions? What are you thinking? I just rambled there. Kim said, feeling proud of who you are. It won't matter what others think of you. Unicorns and hearts. Yes. Somebody else said something. I want to grab it. Nini said, I believe no matter what, I should validate others' emotions. Yes. So Nini, I think I understand what you're saying. Absolutely. Like, this is not about not caring about people, not loving people. That if we have a loved one that comes to us and says anything, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm hurt, I'm guilty, I feel shame, whatever, to hold that space and hear them is one of the most loving things we can do for someone. That subject, that idea is, I agree with you. And it's very different than what I'm talking about here. This is you inside you validating what you really think, validating what you really feel, and validating what your heart is calling you to do, and not be influenced by this. Does that make sense? So validating your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions more than someone else's for you. And then when people come to us about their own thoughts, feelings, and emotions and wanting to share them, of course, creating that space to hear them, love them. But you stay with yours. You can hear theirs and you still know your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I hope that made sense. That was so good for us to talk about that. Jacqueline, I hope I'm saying your name right. I didn't even know what a boundary was until I was around 56 years old. Me too. And we're learning more and more and more. So good. I stay in my circle of control. Beautifully said. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Again, this was part 2. Everyone's on their own path of especially this is the Empaths and Senses Facebook group. One of our biggest issues is there's a couple things here. Feeling other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We can't tell if those are ours or theirs. We can't tell if they're all that stuff. So how about next week we come back and we talk thank you, Jacqueline, about boundaries, knowing your thoughts, feelings, and emotions from somebody else. We'll come back next week and we'll do a part 3 of the difference between your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and someone else's and knowing the difference. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week and I will see you then. Bye, everybody.